Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, October the 27th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. What not to do. Part 3. Okay, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. So, we're talking about what not to do. One of the things that you shouldn't do is trade. That's what one person replied. And the thing is, they're right. If there's something going on where you're not all there, you shouldn't trade. If you're distracted, got too many things going on in your life, your physical health isn't where it needs to be, you're tired, you're anxious, you're just not, in your normal zone. You're way out of the threshold. So yeah, you shouldn't trade if you're feeling any of that. And also, along with that, you could be feeling right and everything, physically is good, mentally is good, but for whatever reason, you're just having a bad day. Don't make it worse. If you see that you're having a bad day and maybe you take 3 trades in a row and they go against you, and for whatever reason, then you look back and you go, man, I missed that or I forgot that. Just stop. Just come to a complete halt and maybe just watch and think about, okay, I would take this trade. Oh, okay, I would take that trade and see how they pan out. And then when you come back to the next session, hopefully you'll be fresh because what usually happens is sometimes you might trade in streaks. I'm a streaky trader. And it was like I'll have 2 days in a row that were great. And then what happened to me was a couple days ago, what was it? Actually, it was yesterday morning. I got up, and as I said, I missed that short from the top. And for whatever reason, that just affected me. And yesterday, you know, I came out ahead of the game, but it was tough trading. And then this morning, it just about carried over. And so, what did I do? After I got out of that last mess, I put myself in a mess, I got out of it, and then I put myself right back into another mess. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to push my luck. I just stopped trading. That's why normally I would have made this video a couple hours ago, but I just walked away from the computer, did other things, took care of other business because you don't want to make things worse. I mean, there'll be another day tomorrow, another trading day, the day after. We still got 2 more trading days this month. So there's no reason for me to ruin things, make things worse. I can stop, regroup, and then carry forward. So hopefully, you might, take a note there. And the next time you find yourself in that situation, you just might remember what I said, and you'll come to a stop, and then you'll pick up the next time and carry on with your bank draining. So for the month, we're 267, now 268, 267 pips above the monthly open on the British pound. And you see we've fell out of that upper wick zone on the month. We pushed about halfway through and looks like we came back down. And on the weekly, look at this. We're right at the weekly open. All the gaps have filled. I think they filled on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see here we took out the weekly pivot, the weekly midpoint, almost broke the weekly high, almost broke the weekly low. Or did we break the weekly low? Let's see. Nope, we missed it by 2 points. So right now we've got an inside bar. We're an inside bar for the week. But look at that. I guess they're trying to decide which way they want this week to end. And notice we did break out of the opening range, Monday's range here, but we pulled right back to it. So one thing to note, if you noticed here on Monday, we didn't have a tail. we did not have a tail at all. And for some reason, something's displaying over here. Oh, I know what's going on. This should be false. Okay. So you can see here that there's going to be a weekly tail. Well, we put it in today. So that's something to make note of. And that's that, hey, these candles like to have, upper wicks and lower wicks, or wicks and tails, however you like to call them. And since we hadn't put in that lower wick yet, when the price got back to the weekly open, they had to push it down. And they almost pushed it down to the opening range for the year, but then it shot back up. So we're 31 pips off the low today, and that's the weekly low too. So if you're trading those weekly rat zones, you were in for a nice slice of cheese there. We're 97 pips above the yearly open. So we've got a nice positive month still. And once again, we broke out of that inside bar that first day of the week. And you see there's still some inside bar action on the days. I only see a few on the week, and then we've got even more on the month though. But you can see the pound is in that inside bar here from 2 months ago. Range only 72 pips for the pound today, but you can see there's about 8 other pairs that are over 100. We missed the pivot point today. And you can see the action here around that weekly open. You can see here we just went crashing through that daily open. Notice we had like trading out of that lower wick zone here from this candle. You can see you traded out of that on up. So once again, you can use the wick zone on hourly, 4-hour, daily, weekly, monthly, and pick up some nice trades. But part of those type of trades, it's patience. And one of the things was funny, I was talking to Walmart today, and he goes, hey, I want to give you some feedback. He goes, you suck at short term. You're great at long term. And he goes, because Walmart's really good at short term trading with the pound. It's like he'll go short when I'm thinking I'm waiting for a long, and he'll see a short opportunity, and he'll usually nail it. Like I remember he said it was going to go down to 25, and he shorted it to 30, and he nailed it right at the 25, and then I think it hit 24 and reversed. But the thing is, I know that I am usually pretty good on H4, picking out where price is going to go, especially the H4 pivots. But let's see, I'd have to switch charts for that. But here we go. Right here, you can see the green rats feasted a couple of times there on the pivot trading plan. Let's see. Price near the pivot, the bias was short. Well, they got it right today. Now, on the pivots, this is where, like I said, I usually can see where price is going. So, for example, here, there was a missed pivot, and I said, well, it's got to hit it, and it usually does, because you can see how few missed pivots there are on H4. So let's see, can we even find them? Oh, you know what? I'm wondering if missed pivots plot, there was something, show mode, pivots, crisscross true, override current. false. Said 1014, there was a missed pivot. Where's 1014? Huh. I don't see a missed pivot on 1014. I wonder if I've got that set right. But normally, I usually can see where price is going using the pivots. So for example, on the daily, so I know this pivot needs to get taken out. And this pivot and this pivot. Yeah, you will have some missed pivots, but they're usually few and far between. And so for example here, it took it a while, but it took it out. So we'll wait and see what happens. I know there's a bunch of guys waiting for the pound to come back down here. They might be right, they might be wrong. And you can see in and out of the lower wick zone, yesterday's lower daily wick zone. And here's the box that we refer to as the box, which is the lower high, higher low. And you can see how the box changes because it's dynamic. And let's see, right now price is getting near the 40, which I call the launch pad. And that's what I got stuck at today. I got stuck at one of those when I was in the launch pad. Let me see. I think it was somewhere around here. I got stuck in a trade and it came down there. So I did some averaging in, finally got out. Should have held for 50, but I didn't. But that's good old Harry hindsight. But it's just one of those things where I saw a return bar on, I'm trying to remember which time frame. I think it was on M30. No, it wasn't. Was it H1? I just remember seeing a return bar at the time. M15 maybe. Well, see, there's a return bar here. There was a return bar here. So this, no, I think it was this. I think this was one of the return bars here. Where just like now, I see this is probably a return bar. So price probably needs to come back down to about 25. And I'm just playing the statistics when I see those. So for example, here's a return bar. And usually on the M15, it has to be over 10 pips, especially if it spans 20 pips. If it breaks a couple of lines, that's usually going to be a return bar. So price will want to return to the open of that bar. The thing is, when you make those trades, it doesn't have to go all the way. You can just take the meat out of it and take risk off the table. That's one thing, especially if you're not trading well. And you're up a couple of pips, take the pips, because if you get in the trade and it reverses, then you'll wind up stuck again, because that happened to me a couple of times today too, where I had a chance to take 2 to 4 pips and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to go up there, and oh no, it didn't. So I wound up, back in drawdown, then back up, and so I had to write it out, as opposed to just popping it out and being happy taking a couple of pips. Just like, here's a return bar here I'm looking at. And also, I was trading out of the ATR zone. So this is one of those ones where, just like on this candle, just wait, just let it close. Don't rush. Let the next candle open, see what it does. And then when it comes back up, you can get in. And then that way you don't get stuck in drawdown and start to make emotional decisions rather than trading decisions based off of what you see on the charts. So fellow traders, I hope that helps. If you're having a bad day, just stop, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.